In other headlines, Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong has reminded members of Parliament from the People's Action Party to uphold integrity, honesty and incorruptibility. He said such values are fundamental to the party. Now, his message was contained in an 8-page letter on rules of prudence, which outlined a code of conduct that PAP MPs have to observe. The letter is traditionally sent out by the Prime Minister to PAP MPs after every general election.
The People's Action Party's victory in the September 11th polls meant that Singaporeans have given the party a clear mandate to take Singapore forward beyond SG50, said Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong. The party won 83 out of 89 seats contested and received nearly 70% of the votes. As such, Mr. Lee said the party must keep its election promises. In his letter to all PAP MPs, he stressed that they should not break faith with Singaporeans, but carry out their duties responsibly, as well as address the people's concerns and advance their interests. Mr. Lee also reminded that PAP MPs should be humble in victory in light of the strong showing in the election. He emphasised that MPs are servants of the people, not masters. He cautioned that they should not read the election result as a sign that the party's efforts have succeeded and that they can afford to slacken. Mr. Lee pointed out that there's more to be done to tackle issues which concern Singaporeans and find new ways to improve people's lives. He reminded MPs to continue to listen hard to voter concerns, help them to tackle pressing needs and convey their worries and aspirations to the government. Mr. Lee also said that MPs need to stay in close touch with the people. They also need to persuade Singaporeans to support policies which will benefit them in the long term and at the same time help the government to formulate good policies. As in previous years, the bulk of Mr. Lee's letter emphasised the code of conduct that PAP MPs need to observe to uphold the party's reputation for a clean and incorruptible government. He stressed that while the context of the letter might be different each time, the subject remains constant because integrity, honesty and incorruptibility are fundamental to the party. Mr. Lee said MPs should not use their political position for their own personal interests or those of their businesses or clients. They should not also solicit directorships. While the party permits MPs to serve as directors on the boards of private and publicly listed companies, Mr. Lee said they should keep their private and public responsibilities separate. They must ensure that the appointments should not compromise their duties and performance as an MP. MPs should also be cautious in accepting gifts that might raise conflict of interest with their public duties. Mr. Lee also said that he has asked the Speaker of Parliament to give all MPs, particularly new ones, ample opportunity and latitude to speak in Parliament. They will get their first opportunity during the President's address at the opening of Parliament in January next year. He also advised MPs not to shy away from robust debate. But he added that they should exercise their judgment and not get carried away playing to the gallery. Mr. Lee said that bringing up issues their constituents are concerned about will show that both the MPs and the party are in touch with the ground. In closing, Mr. Lee reminded the MPs that the PAP has held its position in successive elections because its integrity has never been in doubt. As such, they have to uphold the party's high standards. That's because any slackening of standards or show of arrogance or indifference by any MP will erode confidence in him and ultimately in the party and government. Mr. Lee said that new MPs can pick up the do's and don'ts from those who are more senior and that ultimately they need to win respect and not popularity to stay the course.